Yo.
Welcome to the new meta, episode 60.
60.
My name is ThaPChild.
I'm Lord Fluffy. Goddamn.
That was a very awkward intro.
It was. The
We had
start
going on
recording
there.
button wouldn't go off. I was like, I didn't want to start it until it was going.
Super awkward. Oh man, today's been one of those days, man.
Yeah.
Been one of those days for me.
I get it.
I'm glad
carried
that-
again.
Carry it again. Yeah. So I'm glad we get to do this now, though. It's a nice little break up from the
We got a lot to talk about, though.
Festivity of fun.
This is probably the most packed schedule we've had in weeks.
Mm-hmm. Weeks and weeks.
Yeah. But did you do anything fun for the 4th?
He took my kids to a carnival. Man, let me tell you about these carnivals, dude.
Yeah.
They have a carnival and a fireworks show every year in the town I live in, and carnival's pretty cool.
Sure.
But this year they raised the prices on everything. I don't know what it was last year, but I know it wasn't this bad. You have the baseball throw game, where they stack the pins up and you throw the baseball and knock it down. What do you think it cost per throw with the baseball?
$1?
Okay. That's a reasonable price.
Sure.
Don't you think?
Sure.
Yeah. How about $5?
A throw.
A throw.
For those little milk jugs things?
Yeah. $5. Okay.
Yeah.
Basketball.
To shoot a basketball?
Shoot a shot if it goes in. Last year, I used to play basketball. Last year, I won my daughter this big-ass stuffed animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right. This year, they had bent the rims into an egg shape. So as you're looking forward at them, you can't tell that they're bent as much. I don't even think the ball would fit. I really don't. I asked the guy to throw it through, and he refused. You know what I mean?
Wow.
This is after I had already shot, though. But
Right.
it was $5 a shot. I'm like, I got this. Give it to me.
Sure.
And then I hit the shot, and I'm like, wait, that shit should have gone in. Can you go stick it through? I want to see it fit. And he's like, no, I can't do that, sir. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Classic ThaPChild. I was like, oh, I didn't miss. I didn't miss the shot.
I did miss the shot, man. So, anyways, long story short, we dropped $100 at this carnival in 30 minutes, and because I had my two littlest kids with me.
Yeah.
The big kids wanted to go hang out with friends and do shit, so we let them do that. But I took the two little ones, and I had never dropped $100 that fast, man. Because there's two of them, so it's you want to do baseball toss, $10. You want to do fish out of the pond, $10. Throw a dart at a balloon to pop it, $10. So it was a total waste of money, and I won't do that again next year. But we already hyped it up. We're like, let's go to the carnival, and they're like, yeah. So
Wow.
yeah.
So
And that was cool. And then we saw a fireworks show. How about you?
yeah, so I went up to Colorado for the weekend. Which the original plan was to
How
go-
did you get there?
It flew.
Flew? Okay.
So the original plan, 4 years ago, Lindsay and I's 4-year anniversary, just like last week. And 4 years ago, we were supposed to go to this concert together, which was Lake Street Dive and the Avid Brothers at the Red Rocks. And so just by chance, they happened to be doing it again. And so we're like, wow, we got tickets. We made this whole weekend out of it. And ironically enough, 4 years ago, my brother went with his wife, and they did some edibles first, and she ended up freaking out big time, his wife, and they missed the whole show. And so this time, Lindsay and I go.
And you went with your brother again.
No, I didn't. He was there,
Okay,
but we
good.
didn't go with him.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
And we were in line, the show's about to start, 3 minutes left. We're in line to get some tacos. And Lindsay looks over at me and she's like, I want to pass out. I was like, what? And then boom.
Did she do edibles?
Just passed out, instantly. Yeah.
No comment. Okay.
So whacks her head on the concrete super hard. And then
Oh
comes
my God,
to
dude.
and passes out again, comes to, passes out again, turns blue in the face. It's finally called paramedics and wheel her off, and we ended up going to the hospital. Spent the whole night in the
Damn.
hospital and shit. But
So
something
you
about this
wrecked a
concert,
motorcycle on the last trip,
man. Yep.
and then now she almost dies at this trip. All right, keep going. So you're at the hospital. Is there more to this?
No, that was it. We missed the concert. It's just not meant to be. It's obviously not meant to be. But yeah, it's pretty traumatic circumstance. But it's a fun weekend, all in all.
So she's okay. Everything
She's okay.
Turned
She's
out
good.
Good after that.
CAT scan
night,
came back clean. You know, she's.
What was the? What was the? How long did it take for her to be like normal again? Like feel good?
5-6 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I know. It was cray. Anyways.
That's weird.
Diablo.
Yeah.
We asked last week, in case you guys missed it, I'll give you one last second to vote here. Which game model would you prefer? A new Diablo title every year, similar to like they do in like Call of Duty, where they just pump out a game every year, kind of like reskin stuff. Or the same title for 5 to 10 years with expansions, similar to like what PoE is doing. And just adding more and more content to a kind of outdated engine. What do you like and what do you think won?
I would like them to keep supporting the same one for a long time.
Okay.
Personally, if it's good. I think the Call of Duty style is dated at this point.
Sure. I'm going to agree. And I think that everyone voted the same, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that that's what people wanted?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know. Honestly, I'm going to say they probably went Call of Duty. Just
Really?
because I think that's going to like ensure new content on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
You know?
I kind of feel like in this format, like, I don't know, like you kind of want, like when ARPGs, you kind of want like the characters to stick around so that like over time they just get like more and more badass versus like a new slate. But then again, it's seasons, so it's like you start over every 3 months anyway. So, ugh.
I mean, it feel like you got to reset power at some point, you know?
Right. For sure. I agree. Oops. Hang on. Ugh. Shit. I just fucked up the thing.
I saw that.
I don't know what I did. Ah.
You drug it up. I think you drug it way up.
So now I'm in front. What the fuck? This fucking shit. I swear to God.
It's not a new meta if Fluff doesn't break it.
There we go. I don't know how that's in front, but whatever. But yeah.
Okay.
So I was just trying to turn on the stupid video capture device. There we go. But yeah. We'll say the same title. And let's see what people voted.
Oh,
wow. The majority agrees. 93% of the vote want the same title for 5 to 10 years with expansions versus a new Diablo title every year.
Not what I expected.
God damn.
I expected it to be more close than that.
God damn.
That was smashed.
That's probably like the most concise
one-sided ever. Yeah.
Yeah, that we've ever had.
100%.
But the poll for next week.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, it is. I kind of think that that's the play. I'll spam this in chat. This is the poll for next week. Assuming they could stop botters or have the resources to monitor properly, or don't have the resources, I have said have, whoops. Don't have the resources to monitor properly, would you accept a 5-hour XP cap per day? So meaning you could only get XP. You could play as long as you wanted and get upgrades and stuff, but you could only get 5 hours worth of XP per day. Don't you say
I wonder
a word.
if a limit per XP per day would be better than an hour. If you could do 5 hours, man, you would crush that 5 hours. You would want to be so efficient, which might be cool. I mean, at least it would give people that are super efficient an advantage,
Sure.
I guess, versus like a set, you can get 1 trillion XP a day or something. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Can't talk about it. We'll discuss next week.
Exactly. But yeah, vote on that, boys. But moving on, there's just so much to talk about this week. So in news, Tencent, NetEase's rival, which if you guys don't know, NetEase is a game that basically has made Diablo immortal. But their rival, Tencent, has released this game called Raziel, which is like basically a Diablo clone, an ARPG on your phone.
This isn't the one that stole their video, is it? I'm going to look it up.
I don't think so. But basically, it's the #1 downloaded game in China right now. By I think a pretty big margin. But it's only the 10th highest grossing, apparently. So a lot of hype around it. Obviously, it just came out.
Does that have the chart of what's the highest grossing?
Highest grossing is Honor of Kings. Whatever that is.
Wonder what that is. Like Clash of Clans or some shit?
No idea. But to follow it up, there's already been some kind of backlash about this 10-cent game. So apparently it's been in development for about 4 years. And this is kind of the look of it, if you are watching.
That looks so much like the Diablo Immortal.
Right?
I mean,
Like-
it's like crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Look, like that even looks like the demo level we got to play.
I mean, it looks like NetEase's Endless God game. Like Diablo Immortal is like what people have theorized to be a clone of their own game that NetEase is working on.
Right.
But some comments have been one person they interviewed that said, after I reached level 60, I still couldn't collect basic equipment after spending a week fighting monsters. After spending about 80 hours in the game. The game is trying very hard to make you pay, which is urging you to quit if you don't pay, basically, is what he said. Other complaints have been like slow map loading times, limited classes, and a poor in-game design. TapTap, which I guess is like China's big game rating site for mobile games, it got a 4.1 out of 10.
That's not very good.
Right.
That might be a good model for these companies, though. I mean, let you play it for a couple weeks. If you're not the type of person that's going to spend money, like boot you out, free up the server space and the bandwidth, Like that could be a legit strategy. Like,
Sure.
This guy's never going to spend money. Like,
I guess. But you would think that, like, if the game's not popular, they want to keep you playing. Because then, like, if your friends aren't playing, then, like, you're not going to be incentivized to spend money on it and stuff. But to put that in perspective, so they got a 4.1. Endless of God, which, again, is NetEase's, like, their own Diablo clone that they already have released. It's got a 6.5 out of 10. So...
We'll have to see. We'll have to see what Immortal ends up getting. I'm really. I don't want to use the word excited. I guess I'm really anxious to see what their pricing model is going to be
for Immortal.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a single purchase. You own the game and all the content. I think it's going to be a microtransaction based game. I think they're kind of silly to. I don't think the mobile market would work with a single purchase.
I just don't know how to, like, NA would take that. Like, NA, I don't think that, so say you had where you could upgrade like 10 items a day, like through the Heraldric Cube or something, right? And then you could, like, unlock 5 more by paying. Like, I just don't see NA having, like, just welcoming that model at all. Especially for Diablo Immortal.
If people don't get to play the game, I don't think they'll buy it, though. I mean, some people will buy it regardless, I'm sure. But let's say it costs $10.
Sure.
Right. How many people do you think would play it if it were free versus if it cost $10? It's got to be astronomically cited to the free.
Yeah, to the free.
Everybody's going to try it if it's free.
Sure.
So then if the game is actually good and the mechanics are good and the gameplay is good, then you might be like, all right, I'll spend a couple bucks. So I just, the model's got to be like, they got to give you a little taste to suck you in. And then, like, give you the first, let's say the character level's 30 or whatever the cap is. Mm-hmm. Let you play to level 10 for free. And then if you want to continue after that, you have to buy to unlock it, or they have to do something. They have to let you try it for free. There's no way they can just say $10. You can't even test it until you fork out the cash.
Right.
So I'm really curious what kind of pricing model they're going to be able to get. And like, you're not going to make everybody happy. There's no way. People are going to bitch no matter what they say.
Sure.
But these guys, NetEase has been at least in the Eastern markets forever with mobile. So they have to have tried some strategies. And I don't know, man. So like Nintendo, for example, just released Dr. Mario World. Have you heard about this?
No.
Okay. So I think it came out yesterday. I don't know. Really recently. They released Dr. Mario World, and did you ever play Mario or
Dr. Mario?
What was the original called? Dr. Mario?
No,
yeah,
I did
on Nintendo.
No.
way back.
It's like Tetris
So
with
it's a
pills
fun,
or something.
yeah, exactly. But it's it's an old classic. Like
Sure.
a lot of people grew up playing it.
Yeah.
And so I haven't tried it yet, but apparently like the microtransaction, like they are directing you at microtransactions so bad in that game, it's just gross. Everybody's like, oh, this is sick. And that's a huge title from Nintendo. I mean, that's like one of their huge IPs,
I can't help but feel like no matter what, say it could be this fair pricing model for Diablo Immortal, I still don't think if there's any kind of cost associated to the game, I can't see NA liking it at all. Like NA wants to hate it.
Yeah, that's what I feel like too. I feel like no matter what they do, this is like a no-win situation.
Right.
But
again,
it's
I think they would have been more successful in saying that this game, Diablo Immortal, isn't geared towards their typical fan base. I think the problem was them saying like, "Oh yeah, this is for our hardcore Diablo fans," and it's like, "What?"
Yeah. Well, I think the release timing of it too. Like, they announced it and then they didn't talk about. I mean, they probably didn't talk about it because of the backlash, honestly. But they haven't talked about it since BlizzCon last year, which was 9 months ago now,
Right.
I guess, something crazy like that. And it was announced in such a poor way, poor choice of wording, poor design to headline with it, like just a lot of things that were, I thought, bad steps.
Sure.
That it's in this spot now where people want to hate it, whereas if they would have, waited, let's say if they weren't going to release it before BlizzCon this year anyways, then maybe they should have held off until they actually had a D4 announcement or something and said, while you wait, you can play Diablo.
Right.
Check out our new Diablo Immortal mobile game. We know you want D4, but check this out. And then I think people wouldn't have been as bad, and they might accept a free-to-play pricing model. So I just don't see Blizzard going free to play, but I think they have to. I think it has to be the way they do this.
Yeah. And again, that conference call with the investors where they're like, we feel like people are going to pay for our titles. That's the only thing that leads me to, think that they're going to make people pay, $10, $20 for the title. I'd rather pay $10, $20 for a title and not have like pay to win in it. But again, like you said, obviously less people are going to try the game that way. But
yeah. It has to get, if that's the case, it's got to get the best reviews you've ever seen. It's got to be 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 on like every review that you read.
TapTap or IGN?
Like IGN and GameSpot and like, these big.
Yeah.
I mean, TapTap too. Shit,
TapTap.
TapTap.
Your source for gaming.
TapTap. So it's,
Sure.
I don't know. So, if this is the rival, does this even release in our store?
Fuck if I know.
I'm pulling my phone up. I'm going to research this.
Raziel.
I'm looking for it.
Okay.
But while, we can kind of transition and I'll hit back to this.
So, another thing that community's kind of in uproar, the general consensus is community's kind of in uproar this week. But one of the things is there are job postings this week for community managers after having just laid off a bunch of community managers.
A bunch of them. Yeah, that feels bad. It's not on the App Store, by the way. At least not on iPhone. That feels bad. I mean, here's the thing.
Sure.
Were they unhappy with the performance of their current community managers? And that was a way to get new people in?
Sure.
Were they overpaid in Blizzard? I'm not saying, I don't know what they made. But were they overpaid in Blizzard's eye? And this is a way to lower the salary of that position? I mean, there's a lot of reasons they could have done it, but none of it looks good, man.
Right.
It looks pretty bad when you lay people off and then 3 months later you're like, yo.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in these shoes like where they laid off 60% of the company, one of the companies that I worked at, and then like 2-3 months later they're looking for, like a lead engineer. I'm like, what the fuck? So like I get it, but I mean, at the end of the day, like the company's just trying to fill its like needs and stuff. It just sucks.
They're like, oh man, we fucked up.
Right.
Like we fucked up. We need these guys back.
But
whoever was like, we don't need these guys, and then the person's like, listen, it's been 6 months, and look at this backlog.
As it turns out,
can you give me some help?
we kind of need that.
Guess we can't. Wouldn't you reach? I mean, I don't know, man. Would you? Would you? If that company would have reached back out to you and been like, "Hey, we fucked up. Want your job back?" Would you have been like, "Sure"? Or would you have been like, go
I
stick
don't
it?
think like that's just a bad play. It's an even worse play, probably.
You can't bring that person back in because
No.
they're going to be
Salty
salty
and
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
company. Yeah, and spread.
And then
Like,
if
you
that
gotta.
person was like, "Yeah, I'll come back," and then like everyone else that like was laid off is gonna be like, "What the fuck, bro?" Like, and then it's just like it's
Yeah,
kind of
I
like
get.
you're gonna be
Yeah,
unsettled at
dude,
all
that's a
times
no
because the
win.
company that you work for like has already laid you off. Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be a mess. So it's not like they can bring those people back.
they can't. Yeah, that's true. There's just so many. It's just, man, it's just such a shitty situation.
It really is.
So
But yeah, in other news, this is absolutely fascinating. So
this is great.
this is
This is
like
great.
beyond great. So
Hold on. Did this? Wait, no. This is on the original. Go ahead and go over this. I'm gonna pull up
Sure.
the original Reddit post because I want to give the guy a shout out.
Sure.
Who did the work?
So yeah, someone read it, which ThaPChild will say in a second, put this together. So this is 120 players sampled from the 4-man leaderboard. And this might be pretty hard for some of you guys to read. But on the 4-man boards, which is, like kind of high-end gaming, the average Paragon was around 3,500. Total hours played across all the classes were 773 hours, which is approximately 14 hours, 50 minutes per day since the start of the season, which is probably
So this
higher
was
because of downtime
this was
and
on
maintenance and stuff.
Battle.net forums, and it was posted by the author Funky Monk.
Funky Monk, there you go.
Funky Monk on Blizzard's Battle.net forums
Right.
in the Diablo section. So
And of these players sampled, Necromancer is by far the most popular class in terms of playtime, with an average of 383 hours and 31 minutes. And Witch Doctor was by far the least popular class by playtime, with an average of just 2 hours and 30 minutes. Probably because of the pants, right?
right, yeah, people just get pants.
Which is just crazy. And so 41 of the 120 players sampled have exceeded an average of 18 hours of playtime per day since the start of the season.
Man.
100 of the 120 players have exceeded an average of 10 hours per day every day since the start. Every day.
This isn't like 4 days a week. Every 7 days a week, 18 hours. We've gone into this in the past,
Sure.
especially in the earlier episodes of the podcast, when we were a lot more passionate about it. Dude, you can't, man. 6 hours of sleep a day. You got 6 hours a day to sleep, take a shower, grocery shop, pay bills, cook yourself food for the whole day.
Right.
Like, have any kind of social relationship with, your mom. I'm assuming you live at home. Or your girlfriend who's supporting you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, babe, I gotta get this top spot in the 4-man leaderboard.
Sure.
Well, what do you get from it? Nothing. I just gotta do it.
And even
Like,
10, okay, 10 if this was just like the most, like say expansion came out yesterday, like Necro just came out yesterday, or this season. Then 10 hours of time a day, I could get behind. But I just have a really hard time seeing legitimate 10 hours of playtime a day. I'm sure there's definitely real players
with the
in
lack
that,
of content we're getting to.
Right.
And that's the thing. If this were Diablo 4 and it came out 3 or 4 months ago, okay, still 6 hours is, it's kind of crazy.
It's insane.
Crazy. And that's also including that's not including the downtime of the servers. So
Right.
I don't know how much downtime Diablo's had since the season launched,
There's been a few maintenance
probably had
Tuesdays.
a couple,
Right.
which would probably, bring that average up even more.
Right. And apparently
So
this is not on the sample size, but quite a few players in the 139 and 145 range were also well over 1,000 hours logged this season, and which seems to indicate that a lot of botters feel like if they don't do a 150, that they won't get banned.
Right.
So there's
Yeah,
a
they're
lot
just
of
stalking.
a lot of botters that aren't even on this list because like they don't want to get banned, but they're still obviously botting big time.
Right. Still at it.
Which
Yeah,
is
this is
just nuts,
crazy.
man.
This data was awesome,
Yeah.
and Funky Monk that put this together. That was super cool because I've had this discussion so many times, especially in like seasons 11,
Sure.
12, where it was just at the end of, I think it was season 12. At the end of season 12, we're talking like the last 3 days of the season. We were checking out leaderboards and looking at people, and I remember like just picking person after person in the top 10 on various classes and various boards. And some of these guys were at like 22 hours a day,
Sure.
for the entire season.
Right.
I'm like, dude, like get out of here, man. Like, like it doesn't even make sense.
Sure.
You could send any intern in there and just be like banned. Like it doesn't. There's no way. You're gonna sleep 2 hours a day for 3 months. It's impossible. You would die. You know what I mean? You would die.
And this isn't
So
necessarily like new information. Like, this is something we've been speculating, but it's cool to see like the actual hard data behind it. And one of the things that this doesn't even show you, so say like this guy, maybe he's like more legit, but he's probably playing with like this fucking guy. You know what I mean? So it's like even that is kind of it's in the realm of cheating as well. Like the guy you're grouping with is botting so fucking
your Z
hard.
character, like your DPS are like botting, 22 hours a day, and then your Z character is.
And you're like, nope, I'm not cheating. But I mean, you kind of are.
Oh, I'm good. So,
But yeah,
that's a gray area, man. Like if so I've had that happen to me because I do a lot of viewer runs. I do a lot of community raffles and stuff where, I'm playing and I'm like, hey, if you guys want to play, enter a raffle, and then I'll pick winners for the raffle, and those people join my game, and we just casually, play the game together. It's nothing serious. But I've had people win raffles before, and I'm at the end towards the end of the season, I'm 1,500 Paragon because my 4 hours a day, whatever. And somebody joins me and they're like 3,600, 3,700, and then so then instantly the community's like botter, get him, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, listen, I'm not the bot police, man.
Right.
So they won the raffle. We'll do the games, but it's not like I instantly I'm like, yo, well, I guess let's go ahead and clear a 130 real quick, we just did the normal level that I always do, and they were super fast because that person's hella juiced up, And it's like, all right, next raffle. So in that scenario, it's like, do you think the person that groups with them is guilty as well? I think if you're pushing leaderboards, man, that's such a gray area. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because your common sense is going to be like, I'm looking at your tune and it looks like you're super juiced. And if I do a little bit of research, it looks like you've been playing 22 hours. And then that person's like, nah, bro, I'm legit.
Right.
Then are you supposed to be like, well, I don't want to do this board with you because you're saying you're legit, but you look sketch.
I mean, I've done that like personally. But I mean, it shouldn't be a thing that like your everyday player has to decide. Like we shouldn't have to be in this position. But I've definitely done that where I'm like, these guys are just like, I'm out of here, But anyways. But yeah, moving on. That's just crazy data. And again, like a massive props to Funky Monk to put that together, man, because that's just like, that's so cool. Like I love when the community does shit like this. Like obviously tons of research.
Even
yeah.
Dude. Like this is a weekend project. So he says in here what he does, but he like had some kind of, he was able to leverage and just pull sample data. So like this, even like he said he couldn't get people that had funky characters in their name,
like Asian characters,
because because his program that he was using to pull the data couldn't handle those.
Right.
So like, dude, if this was encompassed a little bit more, even to include those let's say like 145 plus clears, just to get those guys that think it makes them safe.
Right.
I would be curious as hell to see just the amount of people, Paragon versus time investment per day.
Sure.
Like that's so awesome.
Yeah.
So,
one of the cool things about this as well is they're just straight up like listing the people's names like on the forums. Like Blizzard could just go in and be like, like to scratch them out.
Yeah, like get that free intern.
Yeah.
You know?
Get this guy. You know, he'll do it.
And it's like, and people bring up the thing like rebirth, dude, rebirth. No,
Yeah, right.
rebirthing does not keep your hours for the season, guys. I'm just telling you that right now. If you go to the season and look at your hours, it only shows that season. It does not show the rebirth hours in that. So,
yeah,
because that's arguments I've heard.
In other news,
we got more Diablo news. What?
Not really. So, this kind of risen up the ranks of Reddit this week. The "Don't you guys have phone" meme on YouTube is almost at 1 million. Which, and I only bring this up because the first comment I saw was like, "Did he even apologize for this?" And
Who,
he
Wyatt
did.
or
Yeah,
you?
Wyatt.
Yeah, Wyatt apologized.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to bring up like, just as proof, the tweet. So Wyatt commented on like this giant thread. He said, "I totally agree. I had a poor response. The audience had legitimate concerns, and my answer was dismissive. I apologize. We'll do better." So I just want to make it known. And personally, he reached out to me as well and apologized, which didn't need to. I didn't take offense to it. But like Wyatt Chang is like that level of nice guy.
Yeah, Wyatt's super awesome, man. And the thing is he took time to reach out to Fluff. He's like, "Hey, I'm sorry."
Right.
I didn't mean to, which is crazy because I don't think either of us thought he meant to insult anybody.
No.
At all. I didn't take it that way. No. When he apologized for it, and I'm like, really? Like, you think? It's just weird, man. Because to me, that wasn't. I understand why the boost came.
Sure.
The boost came because people want a PC game. Right. They want, and they're not reaching.
It wasn't
those
the
players,
best,
and they're not hearing.
It wasn't
those
the best
players.
Quip you could have said in that moment.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But,
Yeah, but it wasn't meant.
Yeah, it wasn't malicious.
At all. Right. It's crazy, man. Poor Wyatt, though, dude. Like, I could see him. I've rewatched that clip, and he's on stage, and you could just tell he's
like,
oh, man.
It's hard to watch, man.
This thing.
Yeah, like when he first got out there, and he's taking the pauses, and like during the opening ceremony, like that was really tough to watch.
Yeah.
And I like you kind of guess it's because he wasn't getting the response that necessarily he was expecting.
I think he kind of knew what was going to happen. I think that he kind of knew like this isn't going to go over well. I really do. And I don't think that he had that sense until right up into the show. I think like at the moment, I think he kind of realized, oh man,
right.
I could be wrong, but that's just kind of how I felt.
Yeah. But yeah, in other news, I found this to be particularly interesting. Is the BlizzCon 2010 PvP demo, which is like a Diablo 2 arena demo. This guy is like resurrecting it. He's going to make it playable on August 2nd, 2019. Which is just insane.
Interesting, man. Like, I don't know anything about this Diablo 2 PvP.
Sure. Let's play like a video. But yeah, it's just like
it looks Diablo 2.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I think
Call me shallow.
Yeah.
I can't get over the graphics of Diablo 2. I can't make myself play it because of that.
Yeah.
That's super shallow of me, man. I
know
you
are.
It's just like,
God, your wife must be just knockout good looking.
I mean, she is, but yeah.
Yeah. I get it. And I could get over it. I have a lot of nostalgia for Diablo 2, but like I'm kind of holding out hope that they will remaster it. So I just like don't want to spoil it.
Kind of the same place that I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I played it, I'd probably have a really good time. But I'm exactly the same as you. I'm just hoping for that remaster, and the experience will be 20 years fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But yeah,
I remember it being like super awesome when I played it when it released. I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
You're right. But cool. Good for that guy. Appreciate it, man. And then another thing that was just awesome, just amazing. So these guys, basically, from what I can gather, like just a big force of barbarians just got together and crunched a bunch of numbers and basically laid out this document of like how exactly, like literally exactly, Blizzard can fix the barb to make it more competitive. Because if you guys don't know, Barb is actually, we make fun of witch doctors all the time, but Barb is at the bottom of the totem pole for like power.
Yeah, and not even is it at the bottom. I mean, it's really at the bottom.
Right. So it's like on average 4.1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4.1.
4.1 GRs lower. But that's taking into account how to push the top Barb build, you have to kind of take advantage of terrible game mechanics like the wall charge or like the really weird mob bug that happens with like illusionist packs that where you can just like infinitely charge. So that's with that data in there. So like the number is probably actually like probably 6 or something like that, probably 6 to 8 lower. So that's a big deal. And what I really like about this is like they have tiers of solutions, right? So the proposal list 1 is the shit that we talk about week after week after week, right? Of just quick wins, like a number change. Basically, just a number change. That's all they pretty much have to do, and they've calculated it, kind of to the T of what they feel will bring it up. A lot based on how Diablo's handled it in the past and what those numbers would need to bring them up. Because there's this like kind of raw formula in Diablo. It's like every 1 GR is like 400% increased damage or something like that, give or take. It's not like super precise, but
right.
They go as far to like, so Skullgrass, would need to go from 300, 400 to 1,000 to 1,300 to make Wrath of the Waste a better build. My only question here, and we talk about this time and time again, is so say they buff Skullgrass.
Welcome to the Alexa Prize,
Excuse
a
me?
university competition to advance AI.
Computer,
I'll get you one of the
stop. What the fuck is she on about?
Every week, man.
Every week.
Okay. That's her appearance.
So 1,000 to 1,300 weapon damage. And again, that 1% of people that love Whirlwind, they're really going to take this to just that next level.
And break it for everybody.
And so then people are going to say like, oh, Whirlwind's clearing at 132. Like, please nerf, please nerf. But the average Joe is only clearing, like a 120. So it's tough for some of these like setups. But yeah, the list goes on of like exactly what they need to increase. And then they have a expanded one with proposal list 2, which gives them like suggested mechanics of how they could rework some of these items. And of all these, and I went through all of these, there's nothing that's like, whoa, that's completely out of Blizzard's wheelhouse. Like all of these are really straightforward and like completely match the Diablo 3 paradigm of like what you can expect out of ancients and legendaries and stuff.
So
like
if Blizz is watching the podcast, and we know they do,
of course,
this link is going to be in the description of the YouTube video.
Yes, 100%.
So you guys can maybe read this if you so desire to and check it out.
Definitely should. And I would love, so say that they do like read this and like make some suggestions based on it. Like that'd be great because that would encourage, the same kind of collaboration between the other classes. I would be happy to make something like this for the Necro if like I really felt that it would make an impact.
If I really felt like people were gonna read it and really utilize it, I just would hate to spend 400 hours putting like this is a lot of work, man. This 100%. Is a lot of work. And if Blizzard never even reads it, it's like, okay,
right,
it's cool. The community probably appreciated it, but yeah, it's the same. If they ever opened up to suggestions like this, or even just said, yeah, like we'll check it out if you put it together, right? And I would definitely collaborate with people and try to do something super awesome.
100%. Which kind of like, so back to that like Whirlwind, like top 1% of players can do just insane things with certain setups. Do you think that the game should care about that or not? So say like 1% of players can do like a 140 with some crazy build, but everyone else is doing like 125.
Yeah, like, so let's say like they buffed that Skull Grasp and then you see the video of that guy breaking the server with all that trash on Whirlwind Barb. That one guy gets like a 150 solo or a 147. But then Like I get on it and I casually play the season
Right.
and
I'm
I
not
do
going
like
to
a
fish for
120.
500 riffs. And
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna fish like 10 keys. Okay, so I get like a 120. No, that's fine.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it just depends on the, I guess, the average. Like if you start getting 30 or 40 people doing that, then okay, we have to address that.
Sure.
But if it's like one or two guys, like no, man, just okay, you guys are awesome.
Right.
Cool. Here you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same.
But going back to the other post though, like those one or two guys that get that rift, how are they getting the 1,000 keys they fished? How are their hours looking in the season? You know what I'm saying? Like some of these things kind of go hand in hand.
Sure.
If you take a look at the hours played and it's like somebody's at 20 hours and then they're clearing these super high rifts and they're fishing 3,000 keys to get this perfect pylon Arcandi with, 5 elites and battlefield map, whatever.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, how you got all those keys, bro?
But yeah, assuming we can take that out of it, right?
Yeah,
And it's
assuming
like
that's gone and it's just like they're just
insanely
fishing
talented or patient, really,
Yeah.
player, goes out there and farms 500 rifts and gets that perfect, map with.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Those people that do the riffs are still very skilled at the
Right.
game. You know what I mean?
But how do
You're not
we
taking that? How do we do it?
like say we're the game developers? How do we approach that situation where like obviously it's going to hit that 135 range, but everyone else is only going to do the 120. But all anyone's going to see is like, well, Barb is at 135 on the leaderboard. It's nerf Barb.
35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how can you get around that?
Without implementing new mechanics into the game, I mean, maybe you set a soft cap internally, which is kind of silly. But let's say the average clear on Whirlwind Barb is 120, okay? And you get that outlier that can do like a 135, whatever. He's just crazy fishing. Start setting a soft cap where at like 126, 27, damage scales down and the player doesn't know. I don't know, man.
That's
That
tough.
feels bad too.
Yeah.
But at least that keeps them more in line with
But
other things.
There's a problem with that because say
I don't really like that
Right.
idea. Just,
to say
like-
waste is that like what you just described. So like they
Yeah.
kind of take the average and like, well, it's still average. It's like 125. But the average player is like probably like 122 or something like that. But then, if what they're kind of gunning for is that 125, well, there's going to be other builds that aren't as gimmicky that are probably going to hit the 125. And then the players are going to be like, why would I play this one when I can clear higher with this one? So like there's no balance.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I don't know how you fix that, man.
Yeah.
That's really rough. That's really, really rough. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully something they can solve in Diablo 4. But
no.
I don't know how you get around that. I'd obviously, of course, rather see them. I'd rather see the guy that can do like the 135, and that's fine. And, like everyone else is like doing 120s or 125 or whatever.
Balance has been so screwed up the last
Yeah.
couple seasons. I don't even care anymore. I really don't. It's fun just to play new stuff. Like I want to play builds I haven't played before, and I want to see character classes change frequently.
Sure.
I don't want to see the same class be the top. Like Wizard is top this season, hands down. Right. Next season, I don't want that. Let's get something else up there. You know what I mean? I don't
Right.
care. Take your pick. Roll some dice, whatever it lands on. Okay, let's buff that until it's number one.
Right. And I hope that's
Balance
data.
has been gone for so long.
Right. I hope that's data that like Blizzard like knows about. Like, so say they look at the top of the boards for Barb, it's like 126, Raycor Hoda. Like, I hope they have the knowledge to know that like those guys are like, they're taking advantage of like quirky game mechanics and like your average player shouldn't be expected to hit those numbers and that they buff according to that.
The Raycor charge Barb smashing his face into a wall, I've always felt
Right.
feels really bad.
Sure.
So
And there's so many
why don't
builds
we
like
just-
that. Like with
why
some
don't we just
stupid
make
mechanic.
charge as fast as it is when you're charging into a wall? When you're not charging into a wall, buff the non-wall, because it feels good when you're charging in the wall.
Sure.
And the stacks go up that quick. It feels great.
But-
so just can you get rid of the cancel mechanic from the wall? Is it just like too embedded in the engine? They can't do
Right.
it.
I don't know.
Like there's no way to fix
Sure.
char. Like whoever figured out this exploit of charging the wall, maybe now they're like, man, we can't fix that. That's
Right.
like so deep down in the code. Like I don't know.
I mean, that goes to the other like gimmick, like Thorn's fucking necro. Like it's like a mechanic. It's a fish mechanic. You're looking for elite types and affix types, and it's so gimmicky. Like Star Pack Wizard, like the highest level of Star Pack Wizard, you're probably using a macro, and it's like all these builds that are top, and what we're comparing all these other builds to, like they're inherently flawed.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. And then like there's so much damage that I don't think is balanced either. Like you have some trash types that are harder than the Rift Guardian.
Right.
And then you got some trash types that are just a joke.
Right.
It's like sniper spear throwers are just
Insane.
what the hell?
Right.
And then
Red zombies are just like the dumbest, easiest mobs in the world.
you're
Like,
like,
it's like, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So there's
yeah.
But if you remove the fishing is part of the game though,
sure,
inherently.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how much fishing you try to eliminate by balancing things. And
Sure.
I've given up on B3 being balanced. We're past that. Like we're at a
Which
point now where
sucks
it's like,
because, like,
just do whatever.
They could do it. They could leave the game with like a swan song of balance. Like they really could. They could be done with Diablo 3 and, get all the sets or all the top meta builds within like 2-3 GRs of each other and just like, be like, okay, this is the last patch. Like this is it. Diablo 3 is in its like best state it probably could be without having to use tons of dev time. Balance is like,
and then 6 months later, somebody comes out with like Thorn Monk. You know what I'm saying? Or Witch Doctor,
like some sleeper. There's no sleeper builds out there.
Something,
like, nothing is out there that's a sleeper.
Witch
build.
Doctor one-shot pet because some weapon's got a broken mechanic that you can charge it up, and I don't know, dude. There's always something lying in there.
No, there's not. Not in Diablo. There's no sleeper builds.
I
anymore.
don't think Diablo 4 is going to have the same leaderboard style. I don't think it's going to have ladders the same that Diablo 3 does. I think ladders inherently create this issue. I think that as long as there's a ladder system, people are going to, I don't know, there's got to be a reward. I think the ladder is what keeps a lot of people playing the game.
Sure.
But it also encourages people to want to play 24/7, aka bot, and it encourages them to push really hard to find these quirky mechanics. So I guess as long as your game's popular, you're going to have competitiveness in the game. But I just don't think Diablo 4 is going to have a ladder in the sense that we know it from Diablo 3. I think they will have some kind of competitive mode. I just think it's going to be drastically different. I think that they probably have had enough of the current ladder system.
Sure. Yeah. See, I would wonder if it would be a lot more like PoE's kind of system, but even that is flawed. So
yeah. I don't know, man.
Just have to wait and see.
I mean, well, greater rifts won't be in the game, so that in itself. Well, I don't know if it's going to be in the game. I'm assuming, I hope, that greater rifts aren't in the game in the sense that we know them now. We've been doing them for 6 years, 4 years, 5 years, however long. So I hope whatever new end game content we get isn't a greater rift. I hope it's something better.
Yeah, but definitely that's just like there's something about the greater rift that works. It's like the replaying of dynamic content, like that.
The infinite scaling difficulty, or what we thought at least at initial launch was infinite scaling difficulty, is an awesome idea because it makes you. It's like there's no cap to the power, There's no cap to the power and there's no cap to what you can clear. It makes you just want to keep like, how far can I push? So
yeah, I don't know.
But,
yeah, I mean, I guess PoE's kind of has the same thing. Like, well, Delve is really the only thing that kind of infinitely scales in power. I don't even know if Delve goes past 83, but I have no idea. But big topic for another time. Once I understand everything there is to know about Delve. But yeah, I mean, that's all the Diablo stuff we had to talk about.
Yeah, that's
a lot.
Not too bad.
That's like a whole hour. We usually never have that at all. It's juicy
crazy,
stuff.
Man. Yep. The data on the botting stuff is super fascinating to me, though.
Yeah.
I love that.
And the Barb
and this
thing,
proposal.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, the Barb thing's really cool too.
Like when communities put stuff like that together. Oh. Pog.
I want to watch this Barb thing. So if as you know, community, as the new meta podcast community, if you guys see Blizzard ever talk about this or reference this,
Yeah.
bring it to our attention. Like,
Sure.
tell us, because I'm super curious if they're actually going to respond to these people
Right.
or respond to this post, or even if these ideas get implemented and they never credit anything. Like, I just, if you're like, hey, that was in this,
Right.
and now it happened in season 18 or 19.
Yeah.
Like, that means they're listening,
Sure.
at least, So,
Yeah. And
pretty cool.
this week in particular, like people were just like I felt like super excited. Like they're, tweeting at us with these like ideas for things to talk about on the podcast. And it was awesome, man. Cause like we look, I mean, we scour the internet for like everything that we can find, but some things like slip through the cracks. Yeah. And like this Barb thing I never even saw, and someone DM'd me like a couple weeks ago, and someone DM'd us with this botting thing. And we would have found it because it's all over Reddit, but it's so cool. So yeah, if you guys like, if there's stuff that we're missing, like, help us out.
I listen, like I'm on Twitter daily and check my DMs there. I check my Discord daily several times. So if you guys message me, man, I'll get back to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's interesting. In other, I didn't really scour a lot for other gaming news this week since we had so much Diablo stuff.
Juiced, yeah.
Yeah, but one thing that a little bit off topic is I went and saw a new Spider-Man movie. I'm not gonna spoil it.
No spoilers. I haven't seen it.
No spoilers. I thought it was pretty good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
They spent $288 million on marketing for the movie.
What?
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 That is not production budget. That was marketing budget. So my question is, when I saw that, I'm thinking like, damn, how many Spider-Man trailers have I seen? And I'm thinking like, I've seen a lot. So think about it now.
Sure.
Have you seen, like, I've seen it on Twitch. I've seen it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it on ESPN, which is like the only TV channel. That's the only TV channel I watch.
Okay.
And then it's like everywhere. I just see marketing for this game. I'm like, damn, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That's a ton.
Goddamn.
Like, are they going to make $288 million back?
I mean, what did Endgame? It had to be like billions, right? What did Endgame?
They didn't spend. They spent like $190 million or something on Endgame for marketing though. Like they upped it. Sony made this movie, by the way. It wasn't produced by, I guess, like Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man. So even though it's in the cinematic Marvel universe, like Sony is still
that does seem
somehow.
crazy. Because so like production budget for Avengers Endgame is $356. It made $848. But imagine if they spent $250.
Well, that's just domestic.
Yeah, but still, if they spent $250 on just marketing, like that's not.
Yeah, but
huge...
if you go to global though,
sure.
the global intake for the movie is like $2 billion.
Yeah, but then you factor in global media.
That's probably global marketing, don't you think?
I don't know.
That's crazy. It's
still crazy.
They're still making a buttload of money.
Yeah, they're still making a ton, but like, that's a huge chunk. How much do you really have to market fucking like Marvel movies in this day and age?
Know, man. Like, who's making all this money though? Like, okay, so
like they can just ask you to
million.
upload this video to your YouTube, and that would probably be enough, right? Like they don't need to spend.
I'm gonna get you 288 billion views. So YouTube's got to be raking in like some serious fucking cash.
Yeah,
they got to be. They're getting cuts of every single commercial on every single YouTube video. And have you noticed YouTube has now switched from the single video to the double video? Have you seen that shit now?
Double video?
When you go to watch a video, it's double commercials now.
I haven't noticed that at
they're
all.
back to back in it. They're back to back in it. I'm like, really? So it went from like, the normal skip ad to now sometimes a double skip ad, or you have to watch like 15-second commercial.
Right.
So,
just
saying, man.
I've always wondered, maybe but like, so you get on YouTube and you're like, oh, I want to see the latest Endgame trailer. And so you find it, but it's like hosted by Joe Schmo, and it's got like 800,000 views. Like,
it gets pulled down next week.
Like, there's got to be such a huge market for that. like for that time that it goes unnoticed and like they can make a little bit of money.
Why does that guy do it though? He's not gonna have a partner channel where he can get revenue from it. Is he doing it just to be a dick? Is he doing it just to share it with the world? He thinks he's like Robin Hood or something. Like, yo, I'm gonna copyright infringe this movie on YouTube. Go me.
It's almost like this, like the upvoted Reddit post. Like this video has 739,000 views, which is a good chunk of money on YouTube.
Yeah, where's
And-
your cut?
Yeah, for sure. Where's my cut? I should copyright check it.
Copyright strike that shit.
But like, it's just like a fucking video of them zooming in on my face, and then zooming in on Wyatt's face. 800,000 views. Like, what the fuck? The fuck?
Yeah.
I never got any of these cuts.
None of that
I was on PewDiePie's videos. He had like 10 million views off of me, and then Frank Rose or whatever, he had me on. He had like 3
Nobody
million
would
views.
even say
no
your
one
name.
even
They-
said my
they
name.
They edit out or they're like Lord
I'm like,
Fluffy face
Lord
Diablo.
Fluffy face Diablo. It's
And
the
he's like, hi,
best,
Lord Fluffy.
worst publicity you could possibly receive.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Nobody knows you, man. It's okay.
No one.
Nobody.
I digress.
Yo, remember that time when PewDiePie asked, is it going to come to PC?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
Twitter questions.
That's really it. Let's Twitter question.
Yeah.
First question comes from Eddie. Eddie says, since there aren't many themes which can change the game massively, what about a filter that you can choose any of the previous seasonal themes? Choosing double bounties would mean you can't run Roarg or Lon, so mixing and matching can still run Lon or Roarg to push. Also would allow charge barbs to be in the meta again. We talked about this slightly.
Kinda, yeah. But like, is that a one-time choice? Or
That's
is it something
kind of the
you can-
question I have. Yeah. Do you let them toggle it? What's the... My thing would be, I think you should pick it. I think it's a good idea, first off. Especially if they start running out of seasonal ideas, because I think they will at some point very soon.
Right.
But let's say once the season has its theme and then the non-seasons maybe could choose those themes.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a pretty good solution. And then every season you're going to have that new one to play with in the season. And then when the season's over, non-season gets it and that process can continue. Once you pick it, I think it should be locked on your character and you have to do something to remove it. You either have to spend a currency, farm something, do something, get something. Like let's say you have to use a cube, like a gift cube to remove it. Like say they put a special item in that has to drop to allow you to change it. I don't know exactly, but there's got to be some way. You can't just be like toggle, because then what's the point? You know, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna go do bounties, toggle.
Double bounties.
Yeah.
I don't think that they
There has
should include that, like the double bounties, double goblins, like the kind of the dumb themes. Like I don't think they should keep those at all. Like if anything, sure, I can get behind like the seasonal lawn theme. I can get behind the Roarg theme because those are build defining things. But like double bounties, you shouldn't be able to just like get that again.
Or if you do, lock you into it for a while.
But even that would be really
like-
terrible because like what this podcast is focused around is botting. So like they're gonna have their bot account just run double bounties, and then they get all that juice plus they get like their that's ridiculous. So double bounties should like never ever return. I would love it.
Yeah.
They can make it like double bounties across the board, but you can't like add it as like a thing you can choose. Like it would just be bad design. But
Yeah.
but I'm
but yeah, I
down.
think-
Right.
I'm down. Yeah, I think a selectable seasonal theme, especially for
Non-season,
non-season.
yeah.
You know, like
100%.
yeah, I think that'd be great. Man.
Part of your armory, pick the seasonal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it. And could you imagine some of the non-season combos with Roarg and Lon? You know,
Right.
like that
Insane.
makes some interesting stuff, some interesting choices.
Sure.
The Piet says hopes and dreams for PoE 4.0. How will it change the way you play in other endless content?
Yeah, how is it PoE 4.0 going to change the way you play PoE? ThaPChild.
Listen, are we playing PoE Friday?
Are we?
I mean, we talked about
Is
it.
this finally happening?
Do you want to?
Like, what does that mean? Is like it's me just like
I don't
holding
know.
your hand for 5 hours, 6 hours, however long you play.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played, so I mean, maybe I'll just play it by myself. You don't have to come along.
No, I can help. I can help. Gosh, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Friday.
All right. Yeah.
Do you want to say a time?
I mean, I go live at 9, so
9. That's
No.
our time.
Let's do it at 9. Yeah, Central.
Word up, dude.
So
Told
Friday the
we
that's the
could
12th.
group. I've never grouped in PoE, literally ever.
What?
I know.
Start a new character and stuff and like level
Sure.
up slow as hell. That'd be boring.
Are we
to
gonna do trade
I mean,
league?
Sure.
I mean, we have to if we're playing together. So, oh god,
I don't know.
trade league and grouping.
I mean, you know, if I'm lucky, I'll hate it, and then fuck it, you know, I'm done. You know,
If
I'll
you're
do it
lucky.
one night.
Sure. I mean, you probably will. To be honest, who knows? Because I mean, there's something to be said. Like PoE turns off new players, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm struggling a little bit to find stuff to keep me entertained. Like, you know, I love Diablo, but I'm just like everybody else. You know,
Right.
so you can only do the same shit for so long.
Yeah.
And it's like everything else I play is cool for a week or two, and then it's like, okay, well now what am I gonna play? You know, 'cause my main
Games and
chick
juice,
is
right.
like just, you know, it's not getting the love it needs. I need it to get some more
She's
love.
putting on weight. It's not good.
Yeah, you know, it's just like fuck. Come on, man.
Just try.
Too many beers
you
sitting on
know?
the couch.
God damn.
So yeah, I don't know. So 4.0, I can answer this question though. 4.0 needs to graphically juice the game up to where like PoE doesn't look bad, it just looks off.
Dated.
I don't understand how.
Yeah.
It looks off. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't look dated. Like it doesn't look like there are times when I see it, I'm like, that looks okay. It's like the movement, like the characters walk funky looking and the interface is like super boxy and I don't know, man.
Yeah. I mean, for
I'm
me,
picky.
obviously a graphical update would be super pog. I think that's almost necessary at this point to attract players. But I want to see, like, there's a lot of mechanics in PoE that you don't really know what you're looking for. And that definitely doesn't attract new players. Like, players, I wonder, there's got to be statistics out there, like how many players die to bleed. Like, bleed in PoE, some red dots circle around your character. And then if you move, you bleed out. And so you, like,
So
instantly
you
die.
have to sit still.
You have to sit still or cure it immediately. And players don't know to look for that. They still, like, they've added, like, the red dots. And it's, like, supposed to, like, tell you, like, oh, I'm bleeding. But, like, new players don't even know what they're looking for. It's ridiculous. And there's, like, all these.
Is it easy to see? Like you as a player that's, you know, got some hours in the game, do you notice it instantly? Like, oh shit, stop.
I don't
Or
notice
is
it
it like-
instantly. I just notice my health, like, start to go down. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I just instant piano key flask. Right?
Yeah.
It's not something I'm still, like, 100%. Like, I can't tell when I'm poisoned. I can't tell when I'm ignited. I just see
That's
my
one
life
of the
going
worst
down,
things
and I piano key.
in a lot of games. Like this is across the board for almost every game. If you die and you can't figure out what happened,
Right.
it feels bad, like super bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Destiny learned from that. Destiny 1, you used to just die and you'd be like, what the fuck? What just killed me? I don't know what killed me. And in Destiny 2, like they really tried to work hard on that and say, like, this is what killed you. Like you died in PvP to this weapon and it hit you and this is, you know. And I'm like, all right, well, you know, that sucks, but at least I know how I died now, you know. So
Do they do that in
I'm with it.
PvE? Like, I feel like there's a lot of
in
times.
PvE, they'll tell you what character killed you, and like he flashes red. And if you look at certain spots, it tells you like what he hit you with, like you died to, whatever. So
Yeah, there definitely needs to be
I
a
think it
combat
does.
log, like in ARPGs, 100%.
yeah, and like WoW has the combat log too,
Yeah.
where you can just go to it and say, oh, what just killed me? All right.
Right. It's already like part of the game. You just have to like export it to text, you know, for like a
Yeah.
user to see. So definitely
Exactly.
should have that.
And even if it's hidden, is if there's a way, because people that are like super interested in the game, they're gonna want that data at some
Right.
point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just give it to them.
100%.
Gettert says, "What's your cheat meal?" So I'm assuming if we're dieting, and you're, you know, what do you-
Yeah.
what's your go-to? You're like, fuck, man, I earned this.
It's pizza. I mean, pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah.
Pizza's your thing.
Always.
Does it have to be a certain kind of pizza? Like, what's the pizza?
I mean, we got this place
you've
up
been
here.
dieting for like a month, and like this is it. Like, dude,
Yeah.
you know,
Pizza.
where are you going?
Northern Lights.
What? No, what place?
We just place called
Northern
Northern
Lights?
Lights here in Kansas City. It's really good.
Okay.
It's not that
Alright.
emo's crap.
Oh, dude, emo's so good.
What about you?
Hmm.
Oreo
you
Oreo
know,
cookie?
Yeah, dude. If I'm being real, if I'm being real about it, yeah, that's honestly the truth, man. And so if you're talking about a meal, I like Italian, so I'm
Okay.
gonna go with you know, manicotti, cannelloni. Those are probably my
Yeah,
two
yeah.
go-tos. I love that with some garlic bread and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So good. But honestly, for me, I would rather just not cheat for the meal and wait till it was bedtime. Glass of milk and some Oreos, dude. Right before bed. Laying in bed, got
Oh
ESPN on.
God,
That's my nightly routine.
you're a
Grab the
child at
milk and
heart.
Oreos.
Adorable.
I can't help it, man. Demonic Grit says, if you could build a computer and money was no object, what would it be? I mean, i9. The
Almost my
Ryzen,
stream
you
PC.
know, yeah, the Threadripper, the new Threadripper, Gen whatever they are. I don't know what they are now.
I still wouldn't go AMD, man.
There's a new one, like their new stuff that's coming out, the Ryzen 3s. I need to see some benchmarks, but they
Right.
look pretty sick.
Yeah.
So, but it's got to be, core for core speed. Anyways, yeah, I mean, whatever. The most expensive processor, a 1080 Ti times 2 or 3 or 4. If I can get
2080,
4 in a
yeah.
computer, why not do it? At 2080, I don't know what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can nerd out and just name computer parts for
Sure.
days, but I could put together a $5,000 rig pretty fast.
Yeah. The 2080s would be really nice for like encoding these stupid fucking podcasts. Because I swear to
Yeah.
God, it takes like 3 hours.
Yeah, it takes
It's
forever.
ridiculous. And then another 2
And then
hours
you could game
upload.
and I don't even know if two 2080 Ti's could hit 4K 144. I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
if they could, man, that'd be fucking glorious.
Right.
So, Lady Giggles says, if you were to ask a question this year at BlizzCon, what would it be? And follow up. This is directed at you, I'm assuming. What would you ask, or would you ask a different question last year, knowing what you know now?
Great question. I already kind of know what I would ask this year. And I don't want to like just spoil it. So I'm going to plead the fifth on
There's
that
no
one.
fucking way you're getting a mic ever again, dude.
Wow,
So
dude.
you might as well go ahead and
Wow.
spoil it. You're not getting them. They would be like next.
No, they would not.
All right. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So first off, if they ever do open mic again,
Yes.
I can't imagine they're not going to screen the questions and have the community managers actually repeat the question. Although the next day they still didn't do that, which blows my mind.
Right. But
okay,
the line filled up instantly, right?
Yeah, so the line, that's where I'm going with this.
Okay,
the line filled up instantly. So do you think that the questions are going to be staged in the future? Do you think they're going to handpick and say, listen, when you see me start to walk XYZ, like they're going to have like you, I know you guys are, going to ask softball questions or nice, easy questions. As soon as you see me, give the wink, give the nod, whatever, I want you to run to this spot, and then I'm going to put a mic stand there and say, we're asking questions.
I could see them like having like this line, that you like wait in to queue for like to ask a question, and that's like already kind of filled up. Like when you get in there, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's off to the side, like line up here if you want to ask a question during the thing, and then like when the line's like already full by the time like people start to seat full of their own guys. I could see that.
Yeah.
Tinfoil hat.
I mean,
you really think?
No way.
Okay, jokes aside, you really think that they would not let me ask a question?
Okay, well, assuming we got in line and they asked questions long enough for it to be your turn.
Yeah.
When you came up, I think they would let you ask a question. I think you'd be fine.
If they think that my question was like toxic, they are clueless.
Your question wasn't intentionally, and I think they got to understand this, that your question wasn't intentionally maliciously
at all
directed that way at all. It was just a legitimate like, hey, can we play this on PC?
Yeah. And the crowd was ready to pounce on something. Like,
yeah, the crowd was just looking for it.
Right.
So, I mean, even though it was your fault, it's still.
But yeah.
So, anyways, so would you still ask it though? Going back now, would you still ask the question?
I mean, yeah, I would. I think that it accurately portrayed not only the way that I was feeling, but the sentiment in the room. Like I can't think of a more positive way to ask what everyone was thinking.
In all reality, with red shirt guy coming up after you, you probably softened the blow for red shirt guy
Yeah.
for his question because the crowd wanted this. They wanted to express that feeling, you know, and that was just the first opportunity they had.
Right.
You know, I think, yeah, man,
Yeah.
it was. I've never like that was my first BlizzCon, so I don't know what the other ones felt like. Right.
Sure.
I really have no idea.
Yeah.
But I know when we left the arena and we were walking outside to go get some food, like I heard people like,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
want to play on my cell phone. Like I heard it from
Right.
like I overheard
Everyone,
that
right.
from so many people. And it's not just like I heard one lady, like I heard hundreds of people saying this, like, what the fuck, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, and I'm just like, dude, this was crazy. It was
Right.
insane. So,
Yeah. Now, red shirt guy gets up there and they don't pull him out of line. I would be kind of surprised.
yeah, yeah, there's no way. I don't think.
'Cause
I'm
that-
surprised
I mean,
he
that
didn't
was
kick him
straight
out of BlizzCon,
toxic,
to
right.
be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because he straight up lied to the community
Right.
manager about what he was going to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, what are you going to ask? And he's like, oh, I'm going to ask something, and which is completely not what he said,
Sure.
obviously.
And
So,
I mean, Brandy,
like,
to props to Brandy, like she could have been like, she did. She said, you know, I'm 99% sure this is only coming to mobile, but like, if you want to ask your questions anyway, or if you want to let like my response mold what you're going to ask, like go right ahead. So
yeah, it's cool.
she could have pulled me out and been like, I answered your question. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Freddie 13th says, have you guys checked out the new Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers expansion? If not, are you interested in it?
Do they work for Square Enix or something?
Hit released on blah blah blah. You know, I don't know. So I've heard good things about it. I've heard really good things about it. I have not checked it out. I haven't looked into it at all. But I have heard good things about it. Like really good things. People are saying it's badass. So, which is
Yeah. I mean, I got into Final Fantasy 14 hard for a week, and I was completely juiced out. Like, there's nothing left for me to do. Me playing like
played it for a
hardcore
week?
hours. Yeah. Like way back
In one
when.
week
The vanilla.
okay.
I played a paladin, main tank.
I never played it at all. I've never really looked into it that much.
Yeah.
I always played WoW, and to me, it's like WoW is the best. So I'm not gonna even fuck with it. You know what I mean? Kind of attitude. It was a bad attitude, but I haven't looked into it. But I've heard so many people talking about how this expansion is like super awesome that it makes me want to check it out, I guess. So I might, but I don't know how this game model works. I'm sure it's, you know, got to buy the game and then buy the expansion.
Yeah.
And
100%.
all this kind of stuff. So, you know, for me to
And
even check
monthly.
it out, I'm going to have to drop $60 plus 15 a month or
Yeah.
whatever it costs.
And
So
like through
I
their
probably
own
will.
client, it's not super easy. Like it really isn't. Like I've tried to like recover my account and like failed like both times. Like both times I was like, well, maybe I'll check it out again. So I'm like, well, let me try to recover my account. And it's like, I can't even figure out where to go. Like there's websites like, you know, it's clearly just like Asian translated. So
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. I am going to watch some videos into it, I think, at some point. So maybe after this PoE weekend, we'll see. You know,
Shit,
if I'm not
boy.
feeling it. I'm not feeling
Shit.
it.
You're gonna be like next week, you're gonna be like, what's going on, guys? Your boy Peel Chatted coming at you with the PoE starter guide.
Yo. Yeah. Yep. From noob to Uber Elder.
Yeah. Hey,
Day
you know
one.
who Uber Elder is? Good
I
for
know.
you,
I
bud.
watch,
Good for
man.
you.
I watch, dude. I'm always right. Says, what's the nicest thing a stranger ever did for you? I read the question a couple hours ago when I was putting it together.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I already kind of have one. I'll let you think about it. I'll tell mine. My story isn't necessarily to me, but it was a stranger that did something super nice for my mom. So my mom made weird life choices and doesn't have very much money.
Okay.
And it's her own choices, and I take care of her the best that I can, but she's pretty poor. she loves my kids, and she came and picked my daughter up one day when she was super young, and she went to Costco. And if you guys don't know what Costco is, it's like a big retail. It's like a big retail store, and they have all kinds of stuff.
And bulk.
But she's in bulk, yeah. So, but Costco. So she found this like really cute outfit for my daughter, and she was going to buy it for her, along with her groceries and other stuff that she was getting there. And when she went to check out, the outfit rang up like more expensive than it was supposed to. So she couldn't afford it. Like she literally just didn't have the money to get it. And so I wasn't there. This is, what she told me. And so she's like, oh, and I guess it was like, well, I guess, she had her cash in her hand, and I suppose the lady behind her could see what she had and what the total was, and
Sure.
et cetera. And so she's like, can you take off the outfit, for my granddaughter? And then the lady behind her was like, no, get the outfit. Here's $20 or whatever. And my mom was like, no, I can't take that. I can't take that. And she's like, no, seriously, here, and hooked her up and bought the outfit for her.
Nice.
So it was for my daughter ultimately. Right. So that was pretty cool. I thought that was a pretty awesome thing for a stranger to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is nice. So. For me, we were I've got a one. So we were in Brussels, and I pulled the ultimate like blonde move, and I left my wallet in a bar. And
snap.
Yeah, and the town shut down like super early, and it was like 10 o'clock. I realized, and I had a very vivid image of like where exactly I left my wallet. I was like, fuck, like I know I left it right there. Went back to that bar. It's like banging on the door. No one's around. I'm like, damn it. And so I had, like when I travel, I plan for these kind of things. I had like a backup credit card like in our bag. And so we're like using that. But like it was just going to like put the hamper on this whole trip because like my ID was in there and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so we ended up, our whole plan the whole night was like to go to these cave bars, like bar hop, all these cave bars, like, but most of them were closed. And so we finally found one that was open. And the lady that was in there, we had seen earlier, and she was like, hey, you guys are from the last bar. I'm like, yeah, I left my fucking wallet in there. And she's like, actually, like, that's my brother. He owns the bar. And so she like called him up.
Shit.
And like had him go out and open the bar for me so I could go get my wallet. So that was pretty
And it was
sweet.
still there?
And it was still there, yeah. Exactly where I thought it was. Yeah.
Double luck. Not only, it was lucky that he opened it.
Right.
Lucky you met her. And then lucky nobody took your wallet, man.
Yeah. So
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah. That was nice.
Last question of the night comes from Dirty Nap, and he says, what is one thing that you screwed up but nobody ever found out it was you that did it?
Look, screwed up and no one ever found out.
Yeah, this is easy for me.
Go ahead then.
I fucked up my firewall at work one time, and our internet was down for about 4 hours, maybe 5 for the entire company. I didn't. It's a long story. It's a super long story. It turned out that I checked some force encryption on the WAN port on the firewall that I shouldn't have, and I didn't realize I did it. I don't know, and it took me a long time to find it. But I blamed the ISP.
Yeah, smart.
I was like, yeah,
smart.
It's our ISP's problem. So I didn't get in trouble for it.
Yeah, solid.
Totally my fault though. It was my bad, 100%.
I really can't think of anything because I just never make mistakes. I mean, Twitch chat's always there to catch you if you're streaming. So, like last night, I corrupted like an item because I thought I was just going to increase the quality of it, but I ended up corrupting it and like totally breaking the item, and I fucked myself. And that's PoE, man. Like that's one of my biggest complaints about PoE. Like half the time, learning shit comes from you fucking up. Because like there's not a lot of like great information out there. So it's like, oh, I wonder if this is how this works, and you're like, nope, I'm screwed. Damn.
Just broke that.
Well, I know that for next time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's all we got.
Yeah. Sweet. Easy.
Episode 60. You mentioned 60 episodes.
0. Man, I
Crazy,
never
man.
thought I'd make it to like 5 with you as my
I'm
co-host.
like, we're gonna do like 1, and then
Yep.
this guy.
You're still at it.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. My name is ThaPChild. You can catch me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and everywhere. ThaPChild. I'm actually not going to be streaming tonight. So my audience that flips over.
Oh,
I'm sorry, dudes.
wow.
I know.
What do you got going on? What are you doing? Why are you doing that?
I just worked today. Got me a little stressed out. I'm gonna go relax and
Yeah.
get some extra sleep because tomorrow's gonna be
Worse.
probably just as bad. So yeah, I'm gonna go cash in early and
Man, it's not
IRL stuff, man.
it's not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after you're gone. Is that right?
Tuesday the 23rd.
3rd.
What is Tuesday? Tuesday the 23rd.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So next week we'll be here,
It's
but
2
the week
weeks.
after we're gonna be gone.
Yep.
No pod.
The podcast. So
Word up.
today. Yep. All right, guys. Peace out.
Peace out, dudes.